another edition of Pitch BrandTalk. I have with me today Pallavi Pandey. She's the Vice President and Head of Marketing at the Landmark Group. Landmark Group is, of course, a group which none of us who's specially into fashion or shopping needs an introduction. Their fashion vertical, Max Fashion, has recently launched a new vertical called Max Urban, and Pallavi is here with us to talk us through this entire new journey that they have started. Pallavi, welcome to Pitch Brand Talk.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for the opportunity. So on Max Urban, I think this is a sub brand of Max, mother brand, and
Okay.
this is a brand where we want to cater to the youth audience, largely from 18 to 21. The need of this particular audience was that we were recognizing what is the new India youth which is coming. It is no more a mini India. So we were identifying that how this youth connect can happen and where our entire segmentation can actually cater to what we are offering in terms of the product. And that's why this whole Max Urban was launched. It is already there in Middle East. It is a brand which is there since quite many years in terms of Max mother brand, and where Middle East is already there. So we thought that what would be the best time right now when the youth is actually all over, the new age youth which is there. So that's how the whole brand was launched.
That's interesting where, you said there's no more mini Indias because we always, especially when it comes to marketing, there's always this perception there are two Indias called Bharat and India, and there are many more Indias. So you're saying that the youth today is more homogeneous than it was in the past. Is there any data that you could share with us which led to the genesis of the brand?
So that's true, actually. I mean, if you see that how the entire smartphone, the digital usage has gone like a multi-fold, like 3x to 10x, it's just growing multi-fold every year. And then we realize that actually, the whole premise of this age group is extremely exposed to the digital world, and where we are seeing that this youth is coming from. The earlier the exposure was completely less, and we are seeing that the need of the fashion retailers are much more in terms of how you're offering and to be relevant to that particular age. So that's why we are saying that what is the new India format which is going. And if you see that's why India is going to be the one of the biggest economy in many years, coming years, how it is growing in terms of new brands to the existing brands to having that cut in terms of the sub brands and everything. Because this particular age group is, I would say, in terms of they want to explore the journey of this 18 to 21 to 24 till the time they are first jobbers, and how the brands are coming more relevant to that particular younger and youth audience as such. And that's why we thought that, okay, as a brand we also need to connect to them, offer them, and also give solutions in terms of the fashion, which is the thing of being the confidence of the particular age.
The age group you mentioned, and when you are in the youth, one thing which is common among all of them is limited pocket money or limit, even when the earnings are in the initial years, it's less. So affordability is a very, very important part of any brand that they look. And this is something which Max Urban is addressing. Can you tell us more about the price points which you're keeping?
So honestly, that is a very good insight. We got it. True, and Max, as you know, that the mother brand and the Max as such, we always been into the affordable space, and what
Correct.
we offer is everyday fashion. So what we said that irrespective of the price, what we are happening, and where we are saying that we will be going up for the kids section, we are going around 199 above, and for the youth this is 299. The starting point with our from our categories to the collections to the basics, so 299 is the starting. But the most important factor is that we are adding value. So fashion at great value is the differentiation that we are adding for this particular TG,
Hmm.
because this TG is looking in terms of I need at a best price, and that's where the price is always like a very important factor as a brand. And Max Fashion has always been true to what we give to our price. What as a brand we are adding up is also value. How do you add value in terms of fashion, in terms of quality, and in terms of range and options? So this is one of the segment that we are actually working for the consumer, where we can give them everything in one roof.
Value, that's I believe the key. But if just before we move forward, just a word on your competition. But they have also, because a lot of your competition have also now jumped onto the affordability and this value proposition. So what would it differentiate Max Urban? Because, like you rightly said, Max Fashion is associated with value and affordability. So, Max Urban, how do you further segment this differentiation when you come to your competition?
The international fashion with the competition, if you ask me, Simran, we are the only international fashion or international brand in India.
Correct.
If I remove any of the international bigger chains, but homegrown brands, we're the biggest brand in terms of the international space. One of the things that we always want to remind, that we're the Middle East large international brand which we are offering to the consumer. Once you go to the international brand, the feel of the international styles, fashion, updated, fresh fashion is something that we always going to offer. So basically, what you are going to see it in any of the international digital space, if you're actually following an influencer or any of the space, those styles are already with us. One of the biggest differentiation that we have done, Simran, is that we are going completely seasonless, and which was already been there. So we are saying every month is going to be a seasonless conversation for the consumer. So what you're going to see is that there is a fresh fashion which is something that going to drop for you, and you will see it in every week and every bi-weekly.
That's interesting. What was also interesting, what I really liked, was the new campaign that you've also launched to coincide for Max Urban, which is Love Labels, which challenges traditional body size narrative. So, and can you just share the insights behind the campaign?
So I think like covered up that how the digital space and the brand in the clutter space of so many other brands and everything, what is the uniqueness of Max Urban? And Max Urban is not only talking going to talk about fashion, but not Max Urban is going to connect with you with emotions. So emotions is going to be one of the biggest connect with that particular age group which we are offering. And with this, what we are saying, that with this campaign of love labels, we realized that the biggest insight where the consumer was having was how the self doubt can be turned into self love. There's always a self doubt with labels, with sizes, when you actually see it from M to L, to even from M to small to even extra
XL.
small. So I think it's not going up, it's also going down, and everywhere. Why we are actually defined by labels? That's the most important factor which we understood. And then we said that why can't we turn this to a self love and make it more conversational communication with that particular brand, in which we are saying, which is Max Urban. So that's how the whole idea came, that how do we empower people to feel special, feel more in terms of a self love space. And that's why we turned M into magical and excel into extra lit, and the conversation and the words that we actually captured are very Gen Z and the young youth conversational. So we were saying, how do we connect it, how do we make those simple labels into something more emotional and something people want to carry it for long. And that's where we thought that something very simple, and we turned the labels into magical to extra lit to special. And that's why we felt that this was something, it is going to have a long way and impact, where we are building Max Urban.
That's really nice, especially because that's what, when you pick up any garment, that's what you see first, whether it's S, whether it's M, XL, or XS. Now, what was the brief that you gave to the creative agency, especially, when it came to the tonality of your communication?
So one of the thing that we want to approach is that how we become less pushy in terms of advertising and little more UGC based, little more real based. So basically, one of the one liner brief was that uh, we want to connect to this youth and this young space. Is it not? I mean, tomorrow, if we actually extend it from to youth to a mature to a core to anyone, it can fit into any age group. So one of the things that how do we connect in terms of emotions? How do we connect in terms of what is the role of this particular sizing in terms of getting the self love? So that was the one liner brief, and more, it should be more real conversation. And if you see the campaign which we have made it looks extremely real, and you will not believe these were real customers.
Oh,
So this was real customers, and we identified the customers, and then we connected with the customers to be into this campaign, and that's how the whole real connect is coming with the campaign. It is not like we have made a campaign just we wanted to make it. It was more like how do we actually see the emotions and the reaction of these customers.
so was it scripted, or was the reaction of the real
So it was
customer
scripted.
captured?
It was scripted, but I think the emotion which immediately came,
Mhm.
it was instant. Like the way
Okay.
that the first one says, "Oh, I'm extra lit." Actually, it was her line.
Oh, okay.
So that was like a very nice way that we captured it. It was because she said like in a very beautiful way, "Oh, I'm extra lit. I'm extra lit." So I think that was the charm of being into real emotions, and that's why where we are moving, Simran, is like how, and this is important for any of the brand, that how do we get into the real conversational communication in terms of your campaigns, where there is a connect which is happening. It is not pushy. It is more feel based in terms of the messaging.
Pallavi, so in terms of communications, how are you targeting your TG?
We are actually approaching completely digital, and all the campaigns are digital first approach. If you ask me, the consumption of digital, which is happening right now, it will be in terms of many years. So, one of the thing is that the larger investment is only going on digital. Influencers and another approach that we are taking, micro to macro to all the influencers, seeing from where's the right fitment. But it's also important if we have to see it. Is there because TV still becomes the number one reach channel, but
Correct.
we are going slightly slow in terms of print and outdoor, but we still open to see it when it will come in a large investment in terms of festives and everywhere, where TV still becomes with digital. So digital is always going to be a complementing one of the key media across all the campaigns. So it's always going to be almost digital first approach.
And can you also talk a little bit more about the influencer and collab approach? What is the route that you are taking for this?
I feel the as influencer is getting cluttered and also challenging for the brands, one of the things that we us trying to approach is that how do we get more real conversation with influencers rather than having too many partnerships with them. So what I mean is that there are a lot of new talents and real talents which are upcoming in that particular age group, which are already into a space of influencers, not overlapping with a lot of other brands, and how these influencers are going to be relevant to our content. So I
Okay.
meant to say that if you have seen, we have also launched our exclusive Max Urban Insta page, which is Max hyphen Urban. Uh, all the content that we do it on that page is largely with real influencers.
Okay.
So earlier, the shift was more in terms of how do we get the larger campaign in terms of our stills and all those shoots and everything. But now the shift is more in terms of real influencer content to building up with campaigns.
They're talking about more micro influencers and
It
also
will be
the
a mix of
influencer who are
macro and
landmark.
mix. It will be a mix of both, if you ask me.
Okay.
So it will be like a new budding college ambassador also of one of the college, and she's an influencer. So I think
Correct.
that's where we are identifying more on that, less on in terms of paid partnerships. Wherever the relevance will be there, we will see on that.
My final question is the genesis. Actually, when you think about this campaign, what stands out is inclusivity, and inclusivity has become almost like a tick box for all brands. So, what is Max and the broader landmark group's vision on being inclusive as a brand?
Uh, we have always been, Simran, an inclusive brand, and we always been into that kind of a space. We respect diversity. We respect all cohorts of age, everything in that sense. So larger premise says that a brand for everyone and fashion for everyone at great value. So that's where we always stands for. And we have never been shy. If you have seen our previous campaigns when we have done it for Women's Day and so many other ones in the past many years, we have always voiced it in terms of the support of diversity and inclusive, approach by the brand. So in that way, we are very clear that this is where we stand and do the right thing.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for your time. Great initiative, great campaign. Here's looking forward to seeing more from Max and Max Urban. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.